All right, another one off the dome, unscripted, just going straight in it. The Churchmax black pill. Um, so there's a lot of copes in this world. You got you know, passport bros, gym cells, beta buckshers. You got everything. You basically got everything in the modern era. It's kind of beautiful, quite fascinating, right? And one of the coast no one really talks about is the Churchmax cope, in which dudes will essentially go to churches, specifically Christian Catholic churches, to try to find a wife because the faith teaches, purity and chastity and like all these, traits that you would want in a woman, humility, uh, you know. But you're not gonna find that there. No, you're not. All right, let me tell you right now, the biggest whore that you will find in the planet is a woman with a Bible verse in her bio. Okay, let me tell you right now, if you see Psalms, some 4 fucking 6 1 or whatever, bro, you get the hell out of there, bro. All right, she's for the streets, man. She is for the streets. She is not your woman, bro. She is not yours, man. She's getting on her knees for Jesus and dick, bro. Not yours, nah, man. And a lot of these suckers will basically try to go to church to try to get laid, right? Try to find a woman worthwhile, and they don't want you there, right? These girls, these women, and it's not just the women too, right? It's a lot of the dudes, right? So that's the thing about the black pill, right? The black pill doesn't exclusively, it's just human nature, right? It's more than just women or whores. It's like everyone's a whore, men, women, and so a lot of these people will go to these churches to try to like fucking find a woman that's worthwhile, but you're not gonna find that there, right? These women are still Stacy's, right? They still have their little cliques too in church, bro. In church, man. All right, no, like we're all supposed to be like the children of God or whatever. No, bro, I don't care, man. If you're ugly as shit, you're treated as a subhuman, bro. All right, that's it. Pharisees, man, Pharisees. And you know, there's this guy in my church, right? I'm not his name. I will just call him Robert. Robert. That's not his name, but just for the sake of like storytelling, we'll call him Robert, right? So Robert is like this fat, like Guatemalan dude, right? And it's brutal, man. So this guy, he's been going there for like 20 fucking years, 20 plus years. Robert's been going there, and he still hasn't found anything because he's this fat, ugly, deformed, froglet Guatemalan guy, right? And he's he has his hobbies. He actually plays the keyboard of that church, that establishment, which is pretty impressive. I believe he's a self-made man. I don't know, but he's ugly as shit, and he makes it like very clear that he is a desperate man, a very desperate, lonely man that wants the warmth of Eve. Oh, right. Every Adam needs their Eve, right? But that's not Robert, right? Robert's fucking Barnabas, all right? He is no Adam, all right? He's no Moses. He's fucking Job, man. Like this guy, like you know, a lot of the women will stay away from him and they won't talk to him. They'll look at him like he's disgusting, man. And I'm not gonna lie, he is fucking ugly. All right, let's keep it real, right? Like, they say we're all created in the image of God, but I don't know, Robert. That might be an insult to the divinity of the Christ if you were to say he's created in the image of God, right? He might be the byproduct of Darwinism, him specifically. I'm sorry, Robert. I just had to throw that shot in there for you. I love you, bro. But Robert, right? Like it gets to the point where the only people he talks to are the older ladies because they're the only people that respect him, right? Because the younger ladies will look at him like he's this fucking freak of nature, right? And the dudes, right? And this, dude, like the problem with black pillism and like just like modern dating is that it doesn't just ruin relationships between men and women. It also ruins relationships between just men, right? So a lot of the dudes will basically kind of clown on Robert, right? Like they kind of know he's like this lonely guy, right? and they'll just clown on him. They'll fucking just throw him under the bus. They'll be like, "Hey, don't worry, Robert. Like one day you'll get a wife," and then they just all start laughing. Like, fuck, man, that shit's brutal, bro. And he just has to do that little awkward, like little laugh, like trying to fit in. Like, oh, look at me, guys. See, I think it's funny too. Like, bro, it's so pathetic, dude. It's such a gesture max, bro. But like the cringe, like gay kind of gesture max, so fucking cringe, man. It's like, bro, they always be roasting him, dude. They're trying like they tried like they always like every time like an old lady walks by, it's like, hey, look, Robert, go get like go hit her up, right? There's your wife right there's like a 7-year-old, 8-year-old like lady. They're all just cracking up. Robert, like, fuck, bro, it's fucking brutal, man. It's fucking brutal. This is the caliber of people we're talking to, the chosen, God's chosen, right? And one day they're crying their fucking dicks off, talking about, oh, fucking, God, I love you. I can feel your passion, your presence, shaking ass. And then the next, they're fucking stoning their brothers like Cain and Abel, right? And it's not just Robert too. There's this guy. I actually don't remember his name to begin with, but just for the sake of the story, we'll call him Carlos, right? And in the church, right, in that church, a lot of the problem with these like churches is that the pastor or whatever is basically Jesus Christ. Let's just say it how it is. He's the main pastor dude, or who the fuck runs that little business. That's Jesus Christ. Okay, that's the guy that died for our sins, right? He's God. He's basically God. And so, he's the main pastor guy. He essentially, like, I know, by the way, I'm sorry. I forgot to add context. My parents I'm religious too, by the way. So if you think I'm some sort of like Reddit atheist, like, no, that's gay. That's for cornballs, right? I do believe in the divinity of Christ, that he died for our sins. I also believe in God, but obviously, the difference is I'm not going to treat people like subhumans because God told me not to treat like subhumans. I'm not like these fucking zealots, right? And I'm sorry, I got to basically go sidetrack here, explain it. So basically, obviously my parents are super duper religious. They're like fucking brainwashed, right? Like, I'm religious, but these guys are like, if the pastor tells them to go fucking, God forbid, light up a mosque in Minecraft, they'll do it, bro. They'll do it. No questions asked, dog. Well, maybe not my father. He's a little bit more aware, but my mom will do it, bro. She's crazy, bro. And, that's why, we were basically forced to go to this church for like years until we got a little older. So I'm kind of just, giving you the experiences from what I've seen. And anyways, there was this guy named Carlos, and Carlos had a woman, right? Like a Stacy. Now, Carlos wasn't that good looking. Carlos wasn't bad looking. All right, compared to fucking Robert. Robert's like a fucking froglet. Like, that's a face only the Christ can love, bro. That's a face only God can love, dude. All right. Robert was like your average, like, Hispanic, like, or Carlos was your average Hispanic male, right? Because obviously I'm Hispanic, right? I'm Latino, half Mexican, half Salvi, so, we go, my parents go to like a Hispanic church, and Carlos had like this lady white with him, right? This is like his wife or like his girlfriend, and his girlfriend isn't like anything special per se. She's just, but societally speaking, oh wow, she's such a baddie. She's such a fine shot, right? Fine shotty. To me, she's a fucking harlot. That makes her a 1 out of 10. But you know how these fucking normies are. And so, unfortunately, I due to the fact that they did not looks match, that was not his girl. All right, let's be real. If your girlfriend is more attractive than you, she's not your girl. All right, you're just borrowing her for the time being, right? That she's community service. She's not your girl, so don't get too ahead of yourselves. And so Big Whoop, Carlos, and then his Stacy were having relationship issues. Wow, shocking, right? It must have been his personality, guys. But what ended up happening was he goes to the counselor, right? So the church's counselor is also like the son of the pastor. So there's some like nepotism going on there, right? And it's like this fucking. Keep in mind, I would even go as far as say that Carlos is more attractive than the counselor. The counselor is like this fat bearded guy, right? And he basically, the counselor gives him some dog shit ass normie advice. You already fucking know that bullshit. Bro, just talk to her, bro. Just fucking talk to her, man. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Probably told her to get some bullshit, like do a nice gesture, like give her flowers. Because women love flowers. Some dumbass shit like that, right? And so I guess Carlos, he tried saving the relationship. It didn't work out, right? So Carlos breaks up with this fucking Super Stacy, right? And well, you know what ends up happening? The fucking counselor ends up swooping in and taking the Stacy from Carlos. It's insane, bro. Like it's kind of crazy. Like there are demons in there, bro. Venom, bro. Like this guy comes to you. You're like this high authority on, Keep in mind that's the day that Carlos became an atheist, bro. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. This guy goes up to you as like a fucking like with trust, and then you give him dog shit advice that doesn't work. He breaks up with his girlfriend. Then you take, well, like I said, I mean, you're ugly. You take his woman, right? The thing you need to understand is the counselor and the pastor, they got bank, right? Because they scammed the fuck out of these fucking sheep, these dirty little fucking Gentiles, right? They're like, give me, if you want to go to heaven and you want to feel the divinity of the shepherd, you have to give me your money, you fucking dirty little Gentiles, because you aren't God's chosen. All right, but if you want to go to the heaven with the rest of us, or the chosen ones, you can give money to the church, right? Fucking bullshit ass fucking. It's not as bad as like the prosperity gospel like mega churches, but it's basically the same shit. It's like a smaller scale kind of operation. So they have a fuck ton of money. Cars of the year. They have a big ass fucking house. They do all this shit, right? So Stacy sees that, right? Ends up actually going with the counselor, knowing she does not find that motherfucker attractive. Carlos is more attractive than that motherfucker, right? But he has bank. So this fella is out here beta bucksing his nutsack off using ofrenda, which is supposed to go to the church, by the way. But fuck that. My Stacy, fuck God, fuck his dirty little fucking Gentiles. I need a brand new car, right? So, because I'm God, right? I am God, right? I'm God's chosen. That's the thought process of these people. So, he stakes his girl, right? And it's this woman, right? This Stacy, she basically fucking like she dresses like a whore too. It's kind of disrespectful. Like she will go to church with like the nicest perfumes, right? The nicest fucking dress, and like the really like slutty whore dresses too. Not like the like the very humble, humble like dresses like the other girl, like some of the older ladies wear. No, it's like these really like poshy, like like kind of like what the newscasters wear, where like it really like amplifies the ass, like it makes like the ass kind of look like a fucking like tennis ball, like basketballs, like you're shoplifting fucking handballs, right? You know what I'm talking about? It's like it's like a onesie, it's like one of those, and she like always dresses like in the nicest clothes, right next to my boy Hermano Tor, bro. Hermano Tor, is fucking, fool's broke as shit, dude. He still drives a 2001 Camry that's on its last legs, right? Ain't got no money. Hey, but he's the first one to give ofrenda, bro. Hey, respect for my Hermano Tor, bro. Respect for that brother, right? And so, every time she goes there, she's so like uninterested too. Like it's in like the scripture. Like she does not care. She's there for the money, right? She's Jewish. Um, she's a Jewish honorary. She's the Virgin Mary, if you ask me. All right. If I had to choose between the Virgin Mary or that Stacy, I'd choose the Stacy because the Virgin Mary is, not as divine as this Stacy that sits in the front row, doing some, with the nicer perfume because, she's the wife of God, right? The counselor. And, you know, like that's just a big cope, guys. Like if you go to church trying to find like a woman, right, like a wife, you're not gonna find jack shit. They're all just it's the same shit. I get you. I'm not even fucking lying, bro. You have a better chance on finding a loyal woman at like, I don't know, dude, fucking McDonald's, like you're McDonald's employees instead of the fuck is going on in these establishments, right? And I have a brother, and my brother is actually a pretty good looking guy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like he's pretty good looking. I am not that good looking compared to him. The problem is, right? My brother is a height cell. I'm not gonna lie. He is a height cell, but he's a Chad, right? And his dick is bigger than the Walmart sign, right? And so it's kind of pathetic how my boy Robert, right, gets no game, gets bullied, gets made fun of. My boy Carlos, he got his well, he didn't get, well, it wasn't never his woman to begin with, let's be honest, right? But he got his one true love stolen, right? Or my bad, he offered her to the gods, right? I should apologize. I don't want to blaspheme here. And then my brother, who's this Chad, he literally goes, because we decided to just check out the church again one day, just because we hadn't gone in like years. And then there immediately he gets like this freaking girl, right, who I'm gonna call fucking Sarah, right, on his dick, bro. And she's like, oh, I want to find like a good Christian man, bro. Even though Robert is like right there, but hey, you know what? Fuck, hey, you know, they're hoes, and that relationship was never gonna last. The good thing is my brother's actually also black pilled, even though he's good looking. He's like a fake cell, right? So he knew, and also like her brothers make like six figures, and my boy out here makes like 25 an hour, bro. It's over. It's just fucking over, right? And it's really a cope. No one really talks about it, and I want to like elaborate more. Right, these girls, they're fucking brutal, right? They treat each other like shit too, like and like these little like, so they would like separate the like adults from like the kids or like teenagers or the frick, right? So the adults would go to like the main little area where they would you know they would kind of like the pastor fucking would say whatever the fuck he needs to say, and the kids would kind of go in like a separate area, and a lot of these girls would basically team up because for some fucking reason there was like cool kids in the churches, which why it's literally a fucking church, right? Aren't we all the children of God? Oh wait, no, I forgot. Right. You're God's favorite. You're God's favorite. Yeah, right. My bad. I gotta I gotta catch up on my scripture, guys. I forgot. God doesn't love me because I'm ugly as shit. Hey, but that's my fault, though. That's my fault. I'm sorry. You're right. And so a lot of these, a lot of these girls, right, would basically just kind of like humiliate like certain girls, like the fat chicks, right, that were there. Hey, shout out to my torta pounders, bro. Shout out to my tortas, bro. You deserve more love, bro. And a lot of the like the TAs or the fucking fuck, I don't know, like hermanas, I don't know what you would say, what you call that in English, sisters, I guess, right? But not, there weren't like nuns though, right? A lot of these ladies were like in their 20s, right? They were in their 20s, and they kind of like really just only paid attention to like the whoever was in the top of the hierarchy, right? They would uh you know become friends with them. They would talk to them, and they would kind of basically just ignore the other kids, right, the subhumans. And it was it's a real shame because there's actually a funny story here. So I remember one time we were doing like this little Socratic seminar, um and what happened was, I remember the prompt or the question was, if Jesus gave you one wish, what would it be, right? And now I'm be honest with you, I'm a fucking Latinx like brainlet. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, I'm stupid. So my thought process was, okay, well, this Jesus guy, if there's anything I know about him is he likes honesty, right? So we're going around in a circle, right? the question was like, oh, if you saw Jesus, like, what would you, like, what would you fucking wish him for? And a lot of these kids, basic shit. Oh, wisdom. Like, why the fuck you need wisdom? Like, at that age, I will never fucking know, right? Right? But fuck me. And money, so I can like help people. That's a crock of shit. Let's be honest. And it was my turn, and I believe this was like 2015, like 16. They looked up to me, and uh, you know, I was like, I tried to be as honest as possible. I straight up looked at her in the fucking TN, right? I was like, if I could get anything from Jesus, it'd be a PlayStation 4, because that was like the console at the time, right? It was like dead quiet for like 3 seconds, and you know, everyone just started laughing, right? Like, everyone started laughing, and there was this one kid. I remember this fucking kid's name. I remember his name. I'm not gonna say it, whatever, right? Let's let it go, bro. It was like 15 years ago. But this fucking kid, he's like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, right? You're a dumbass. And so it was like half, like I was getting dogged on, and then half I was getting laughed at. And these fucking like TA ladies didn't do jack shit. I literally ran away crying, hit around, and they didn't even bother looking for me, right? These are the caliber of hey, but we're all the children of God. We're all family, right, guys, right? They just didn't even bother looking for me. My mom found me, and you know, I, even nowadays, I see it. I see like so many kids. Like, you could tell who's like the kid no one cares about. Like, they're all playing tag, and like no one goes up to this kid. Oh, let's play tag. Or if he tries to, like, they just like ignore him. He just goes on his fucking mom's phone and watches Skibbity Toilet or where the fuck these kids watch nowadays. It's so sad, man. I've seen it with my eyes. They also these little like retreat thingies every year where you can it's like a youth retreat. I've never been to one of those, and I'm so thank God, bro. They do like the most like gay normie shit there, man. It's like fucking, oh, there's gonna be singing and dancing and fucking worship and whatever the fuck, man, dude. I honestly, like, dude, like this. Being a Christian nowadays is hard, bro. Cause I gotta be with these people, right? It was easier back in the day. I would rather get stoned and fucking lynched by Romans and the Pharisees than whatever the fucking humiliation rituals going on at those youth retreats, bro. Thank God I never went to one, bro. But fuck that. And like, you know, I you'll never find a sense of community at these places. You'll never find a wife, right? A lot of these, like I already said, these women are not loyal. They're whores. Just gonna say it how it is. And if you go to church thinking you'll find something, love, community, nah, bro, it's not gonna happen, bro. Just honestly, dude, you're better off just staying in your room and reading the Bible on one-on-one spiritual growth with the man himself, instead of going to these fucking places where they just house like the most horrible people ever, man. Stay away from churches. Stay away from the Churchmax. These antichrists do not love you. They hate you. They hate your family. They wanna sexually assault your sister and your mom, and they wanna enslave your little brother and your father. And Christ is king. See you later.